Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Face2Face podcast. My name is NICOLE, your host, and today I'm joined by a very interesting guest. His name is Namadingo. But before we start, let's begin with the elephant in the room. Some people still call you Doc, and
They
I've
do?
heard you sometimes also refer to yourself as Doc. What basis do you maintain that, given the drama that happened regarding that?
No, you see, I am an artist.
Mm,
I'm a musician. And if you say today to say before we start, we're going to play two songs from Doc,
mm,
people would recognize who that is.
okay.
So there's what we call pseudonym.
Mm,
You don't necessarily have to seek one's approval
mm.
to be called Doc. I was doing a project in Machinga, and there they call me General.
Really? Based on what? Did you go wearing like army fatigues or something?
No, no, no. I was heavily involved with the community.
Mm,
It was pretty much like an army of people working
okay.
together, but they needed somebody to lead.
Okay.
So I ended up saying, I think I'm the general here. And everybody started calling me general. I don't think that would
Okay.
upset the Malawi army if they heard that. Namadingo, they're calling him general in
Let's
Machinga.
not speak too soon because they might watch this podcast and be like, we're coming
No,
for
no,
him.
no, it's okay. But yes, to answer your question, on what basis?
Mm,
My fans, who are known as Nama fans, I
mm-hmm,
gave them the name.
mm-hmm.
And Doc, they take pleasure in calling me Doc. On that basis that my fans agreed that we'll continue calling you Doc,
Mm.
that's the basis where I am Doc.
Okay.
But we take no offense if anybody says I cannot address you as such. That is perfectly fine.
Okay. So basically, it's to each their own. If they want to call you Doc, it's fine. And if they don't, it's completely fine.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, for the purposes of this podcast, how would you prefer to be addressed?
Now you can call me Namadingo.
Okay.
Correct.
All right, fair enough. So recently and of late, you've gone beyond music. You've started being involved in a lot, not even started, you've been involved in philanthropical work,
Correct.
children's cancer treatments and everything. Maybe tell us about that. What are you involved with currently?
Well, the key word will be children's.
Mm-hmm.
I love to embark on projects that work hand in hand with kids. Yeah, I think our society, our systems pay less attention to kids. Most of the stuff that we do is adult centric. When we want to, I mean, right now people are busy with campaigning.
Mm,
So I would have been so surprised and very happy to see someone say, "Oh, okay, I'm going to construct a children's playground."
mm.
Yeah, but maybe it's all about who can vote.
Yeah, because if you help kids, maybe their parents, I guess, would be
Of
motivated.
course, the parents have to vote for you if you point your arrow to doing a project that has got to do with kids. I
Mm,
love kids.
mm,
So at the time we were doing a fundraising for the Queen's Children's Cancer Ward.
mm.
That was the time when this whole country that has 28 districts only had one room called the Children's Cancer Ward.
I remember. Mm,
Yeah, but we have hospitals everywhere, probably 28 big hospitals, one in each district. And kids who are diagnosed with cancer only have one room in a whole country. So I love kids, and wherever I find kids, and there must be a project that must be done, and it will help them directly
mm.
there. I make sure that we do stuff. So talking about the Children's Cancer Ward, yes, it was something that I was very involved in, and I really wanted to see it happen.
So there are some people who say your philanthropy is a strategy to
Okay,
promote yourself.
okay.
What do you have to say to that?
Well, I would simplify your question to saying it. It maybe if it came to say why do you give, then I would
Mm.
give a clear answer.
Okay, let's
Why
go with
why
that
do
then.
I give?
Mm.
Yes, I give because it makes me happy. I really am so happy when I give. First, I'm a Christian. The Bible says when you give, you receive. For me, I take it to be the opposite.
Mm.
You can't give if you don't have.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I think God already gave me, and now I just give what I've been given.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me happy to give. I don't give so that I get something in return because I already got it. That's why I'm giving. So there's nothing for me in return.
Mm.
There's everything for me already. That's
Mm.
why I can give.
There is no added benefit of you being a giver.
All the
Other than it being personally satisfying, is there no added benefit from it?
Well, I always tell people to say the greatest pleasure a man will ever know is when pain goes away. Imagine how much pleasure you will know when you are the instrument of taking away somebody's pain.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything more than that that one would want to have other than that kind of pleasure. So
Hmm.
I really enjoy giving.
Okay.
Yeah,
So back to the cancer treatment campaign that you ran for Queen Elizabeth. What
correct.
was the hardest question you had to answer at that time? Because there was a lot of noise, there was a lot of speculation, rumors going around. What was the toughest question at that time that you had to answer?
Well, I would not really want to dive deep into that project. I mean, the first, I don't know, 6 minutes of this program, we're just talking about this
That's what we do
cancer
on this
issue.
show.
Yeah, but I think, as you put it correctly, to say there's been so much noise back
Mm,
then. I think it's enough noise. I wouldn't want to continue making noise about what happened
mm,
or who said what
mm.
was what. I think that was enough noise. So yeah.
Okay, that's a very politically correct way to answer that question. So, at the time, fine, there was a lot of noise that happened, but did you learn something from that experience, especially as a public figure?
Well, I try as much as I can to learn from every situation.
Mm,
Yeah, I think that's wisdom. If you don't learn nothing from, especially at a place where it's just a spaghetti junction of emotions, a lot is going on, and you
mm.
can't learn, that's something bad. So yes, learning, I learn every time.
You wouldn't give us an idea of what you learned?
No,
No? You don't want to
yes,
share? Maybe it might help somebody in the same position at some point.
no, it's okay. I don't think someone will be in that position.
Fair enough. That's one way to put it. So, another question, and I have a
Please.
lot of them.
Okay,
All these initiatives you're running,
correct.
where are you getting the funding from?
Well, my most recent project was, I'll continue referring to it. It was in Machinga.
Mhm,
This is a project that has cost probably just over 100 million. We were building two school blocks.
mhm,
In total, we built about 6 rooms, 3 classrooms, and we've also built staff department. So when you talk about money, this was my money.
okay.
There's nobody out there who can come and say, no, I gave him the money or I'm funding him.
Mhm,
Yes, we did it over a period of 3 months. 2.5 months of the 3 months, I was there myself because I didn't want misuse of funds. I wanted to make sure nobody goes home with a bag of cement,
mm, mm,
as many times we hear from so many projects. So I made sure that I camped there in Wataka in Manchinga. So I
mm,
stayed there. I was eating what they eat. I was
mm,
going to bed in a house like most people do in that area. I was taking a bath in a bathroom just like most of the people, the locals that are there, use.
mm,
So it has been my money. When I perform, I'm handsomely paid, I should say.
mhm,
Yes, I am a senior member of musicians in this of the music industry in this country,
mhm, mhm,
which tells you to say, well, we are well paid sometimes, not
mhm,
every time. And when I get paid like that, I live a very comfortable life, I should say. I
mhm,
live in a very good house. I've got running water, I've got electricity, and enough food.
mm,
And therefore, I always find it to be okay if I can make 10 million and get half of that
mm,
and have an experience of life on the other side of the country.
mhm,
And that's exactly what we've been doing. So, to answer your question, the funding of these projects are just coming from me. But we should also put it in the light that there's certain people, certain individuals, some who choose not to be put out there, that do come through
mhm,
when they're moved by the project. Not necessarily that we wrote to them or we called them, but mostly because they've seen the good work that is happening there. They're
mhm,
moved by what their community is doing and not just myself.
mm,
They'll be looking at the video clip that is updating the whole public what we're doing in
mm,
Wataka, and they'll see that the villagers, the community has come together and they're putting hands on the ground and they're moved by that. So they'll
mm,
come in and say, hey, here's my 7 million. Can you do something with this? And we've also had uh, two gentlemen that came in after we completed the first building. We had one Houghton in Banda
mm,
who just surprised us and gave us 10 million for us to put it to use, of which I made an executive decision of what that use would be,
Okay.
which was to start constructing a new building. When we started and somebody heard that story, they came through with 27 million.
Wow.
You can imagine, these are people that we're not calling them from anywhere. They're just coming to do this.
I
So,
think it's the fact that they can actually see where the money is going.
correct. I honestly think a lot of people in this country have got money that's just sitting somewhere. Probably they don't know what to do with it. Not that they're bad people, but sometimes they're not inspired and motivated enough to give out their money because they're afraid of management, of how this resource is going to be managed. I have seen people come out with real big money, yet you did not approach them. And maybe they saw, okay, if this young man is able to use 68 million of his money, I can give him 27 million of my money. Yeah, but most times, maybe people walk out there with nothing and just demand that people should give them because they've got the heart. And this is a lesson I would love to share with a lot of people out there, to say, most of the times when we want to help, it's also very important that we should be the first ones to put our own money. Let's not just talk about we
Because
need
it's
money.
easy to ask for somebody to empty their pockets when you're not emptying your own.
Correct, correct. So I think this really pushed these people to come through for us. So we had about 37 million already, and we want to construct something that's going to take 100 million. And then the rest, you know where it came from? Me.
Okay. Well,
Correct.
kudos to you. That's a good thing to hear. But okay, speaking of Wataka, you had the Namadingo Foundation. Now, the work that you've been doing at Wataka, I haven't heard you say that this is under your foundation. Is this separate to that?
Correct.
What's the story there?
The Patients Namadingo Foundation that we started back in 2018. And you are right. When we went to Wataka, we did not use the Patients Namadingo Foundation. Soon we will be launching an organization that can probably do these projects on a gigantic level. And one thing I did not want to do, and I don't want to do again, is to trade under my name as being the guy who's doing it. When I was at Wataka, we saved a great deal of money by working with other people who must equally feel important. When we are going to launch this organization, it's going to be proper structures where you cannot send money to Namadingo, where you must have people who are of high moral ground in the society as your board of trustees, as your directors, and people who are also passionate about what we're trying to do. So I don't want anything called patience Namadingo or something.
Isn't that a bit contradicting though? Because you're saying people were motivated to give you money without you asking them for the money because they
Correct.
saw you putting in your money. So if
Correct.
you're going to then give it over to other people, will that same confidence still exist for them to still say, "Oh, we're going to give money to this initiative"? Won't
So
you
I'll
lose that?
I'll simplify it for your understanding. What we're trying to do is to work with other people, not necessarily that I will not be involved.
Okay.
I'm the guy with the vision. I'm the guy who started it. But I don't necessarily need to centralize the system on me. There's so many people, wonderful people that I've met over the time and I've had chats with during this project. So I have learned to say there's need for structures. If we are going to handle gigantic projects, then definitely we should have a lot of people involved. From the transparency that will be needed of us as an organization. When we come into play, I will be asking the general public. There's so many people out there that can volunteer and can donate their services to us, including those who can audit us, who need to be audited. It's not just me. So we will be asking people to come and join us and do a number of services that we might be needing when that time comes. That's all I'm trying to say.
So with that aside, you want to give room to others, and I respect that a lot.
Correct.
I respect that. Very few people are capable of actually taking a step back and letting others lead. You at the
No, I will
same
lead.
time, okay, taking the forefront there.
Yes, I will lead, but I will need people to work with me.
Okay, fine.
Correct.
So at the same time, you're also a brand ambassador. How do you separate this is your work as a brand ambassador doing CSR initiatives, and this is your work as Patience, the artist, and this is your work as Patience, the philanthropist? How do you separate all these faces?
Well, I'm not 100 plus 50% sure your source of information, but it's misleading. I'm not a brand ambassador anywhere.
Not anymore?
No,
Okay.
for the longest time, I don't think you've seen me endorsing anything
Mm.
in probably 2 years or three.
Mm.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Are you open to it anymore, or you've completely closed that door?
Well, being an ambassador, you're out there to establish probably an emotional connection of the brand you're presenting
Yes.
to the general public. I would be open for it if that brand and myself, we are aligned. I'll quote the ex general manager of EcoBank, Charles Asiedu.
Mm.
Yeah, I once was an ambassador of EcoBank.
Mm.
He gave me quite a lesson back then. I learned that you must only represent things. By things, I'm putting everything in one box that you believe, you strongly believe in.
Mm-hmm.
So I was an ambassador of EcoBank. When I moved from EcoBank, 2 years down the line, I became an ambassador of FDH Bank.
Mm-hmm.
After we had a number of meetings, and I strongly believed in what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I have not been an ambassador of anybody else. Not that I don't believe in anybody else. For example, I don't, personally, I don't believe in betting. I would not endorse betting.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not do it for the sake of I can be paid and then influence a whole 1,001 million people to
Mm-hmm.
do something that
Your
I
fan
can't do.
base. Mm.
Correct. I cannot do that.
Mm-hmm.
So as it is right now, probably I've had people approach me, probably maybe their brands, but whatever they're doing, I don't believe in it, especially like betting. But other than that, yeah, I'm not representing anybody and I'm not an ambassador of anything for anybody.
Okay, so the work you're doing now is strictly patients.
Correct.
Okay, I like that. So back to the work that you're doing now. You mentioned that going forward, you want to have a team in place. You want to have people to work with you and people to audit you.
An organization.
An organization, a whole body that's going to be doing this, which commendable.
Correct.
My question is currently, who's watching your ethics when you're conducting your initiatives? Who's the whistleblower? Who's the one that's keeping you in check? Or is it yourself?
Well, obviously, it's myself. I mean, I'm using my money. I mean, let's give an example of you. If you left your house, went to Nchisi with 100 million, all the hard earned money that you've made, and you're there, you say, I want to build a school. I mean, why would somebody then come and say, I want to audit you? Audit you for what?
My own money to make sure I'm spending it right, to make sure I'm actually spending it for what I wanted, to keep me accountable.
No, 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 no. When you talk about someone auditing you, it means these resources belong to other people as well,
But they're
not
your
just
own
yourself.
still.
No, no, I don't think I would take my 100 million and invite you to audit me. Of my money? No.
Maybe to make sure that you're actually keeping to your word. If you promise to say, okay, I'm going to give you 10 million or I'll give you 100 million, to make sure
No,
you
no,
actually do
no.
give the 100 million.
Well, it's just different that I didn't promise nobody nothing. I just said I would do, and I did.
Okay.
It's different from a promise.
Way to put it. Now, back to you as a musician.
Correct.
There's a lot that's happening in the industry. There's rumors of money laundering and that musicians are used as a front for shadow organizations.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I have not worked with anybody trying to launder money, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I would not be qualified personnel to talk about that because I don't have information. Information is key. If you don't have it, then don't jump into a pool and say something about something. But there are people that I am aware, and this country is aware that they're experts in that field. They know about money laundering. They know about how it started, how it works. I don't know nothing. Yeah, people like lawyer Jay Banda, those are experts on what is money laundering. Yeah, but I encourage you to invite such kind of guys. I'm sure this is a very small country. I don't think things can just pass by their nose and they can't see. But as it is, I have no information and I know nothing about money laundering.
So you've never been approached with a suspicious offer, nothing that's made you feel this doesn't feel right.
Well, when we are approached in my business, we don't function like a bank. We function more like an airline. If you have money and you want to buy a seat, we tell you how much that seat cost, and you give us the money, then we give you a seat. We're not going to ask you where your money came from. Yeah, the bank will ask you your source of funds because they're in the business of keeping people's money. I don't keep people's money. If you bring me money, I'm meant to chow that money after I do the service. So I wouldn't be asking people, oh no, where did you get this money? No,
It's
you
none
are.
of your business. In other words,
No, no,
that's
no,
them.
no. I sell my services to different people, and where they get their money, I have no business with that.
Fair enough. Now, as an artist, with what's been happening with the Kosoma and the Copyright Fund and the petition that's running around, have you signed your name on the petition?
No, most of the times I'm traveling, as I told you earlier on, I've been in Machinga, in
Yes.
Wataka. That petition didn't come to Machinga.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I thought of taking some time, holiday, going to Zambia, see my old friends, going to Joburg. So I will not sit here and lie that I have not heard there's a petition that's being signed or people have written to the ombudsman. That I know that is happening. But as I also told you, I don't have enough information.
Mm.
I am the least qualified
Mm.
to run my mouth on this issue. So musicians should make sure that they get paid what is due to them. That I support fully. That goes for everybody's career. Yes, we must be paid what is owed to us, what we've generated. However, I do not know the context, the contents of what has been given to the ombudsman.
Mm.
So I cannot say anything about that.
Okay, that's fair.
Until I catch up with what's going on.
Okay.
Only then I will say something.
It's a good thing that we caught you when you just landed from your travels then.
No, I didn't just land. Of course, I've been here for some time. I've been around, but I've been traveling.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, another aspect of Patience Namadingo of late, we've heard stories that you have political ambitions. How true is this?
Well, you didn't hear it from me. But anyway, most of the times when people do stuff in this country, I'm not sure if it's the same elsewhere, but in this country, when you do something like a lot of charity, a lot of good deeds for the community, I think it's a very bad culture that we as Malawians have accepted that that's our culture. When you see somebody who says, okay, I'll come through and construct a bridge in your community, then you think he wants to become an MP, even if he doesn't want, which is bad for people who have good intentions. And if you put those people aside, now comes another guy who also thinks, okay, for me to become an MP, I just need to do something for these people. Yes, we
The
must learn.
handout, the attitude of handouts.
Correct. We must learn to stand by our community, give without expecting anything in return. As I've told you, when I give, I'm not looking at what will be my benefit. I mean, I think that's the culture of a lot of politicians. That's why probably during this time of campaign, there's a lot of giving
A lot.
because
A lot.
there's something in return. But I don't want to put a year to as to when did I start giving, but I think you're all aware. This has been my thing. I love to give. I love to promote others. I love to tell stories
In different ways.
in different ways. So, no, I don't think that has to be linked to politics. I'm non-partisan. I don't think there's a Malawian who can actually attach me to a certain political party.
Yeah?
Yeah, no. I don't do that.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing because I think politics is
Not
very-
that I will not vote. I know I'll vote. I also know who I'll vote for.
But that's your right. That's your
Yeah,
exercise
but
of
that's
right
my
as a
right.
Malawi.
As a citizen, I need to take part in such kind of things. But no, nothing that I do has any political spice in it.
Okay. So with all these faces of who you are, 10
Correct.
years from now, the Malawi music industry has died for whatever reason. It's expired, doesn't exist. Which face would you like to be remembered by the most?
Which is a lie. 10 years from now, even if you
It's a
say,
hypothetical.
okay,
Hypothetically speaking, 10 years from now, we don't know. It could
Yeah.
be probably Malawi could take over the world
Yeah,
as far as
correct,
music is
correct.
concerned.
Yeah.
But in the cases where we no longer exist
True.
the way we are now,
True.
what face would you like people to remember Patience Namadingo by?
well, I want people to be happy when they remember me. There are a couple of people that I remember, and I'm happy when I remember them. I'm happy that I knew them. I am happy that they exist. That can also be said about certain bad people. That people regret ever knowing them. They wish those people didn't exist. I want to be in the category of people who make people happy when they're remembered. I want people in Chitiba to remember me. I want people in Balaka to remember me, in Chisi, in Doha, in Kasungu, in Zimba. But I want them to be happy when they remember me. And if it is possible, God willing, they should also be physical things that they see, not just stories that are told and there's nothing you can point. Yeah, so I think that's one thing I've learned in Wataka. Where we built these 2 blocks, we had to take down 2 blocks The blocks we took down were built in 1970. The school was opened in 1934.
Oh, wow.
That's 30 years before we were independent.
Mm.
So you can imagine how many people have gone through those doors
Yeah.
and where they are in the world and the stories they can tell. And I'm glad to say probably these buildings that we've erected might stand the test of time and they'll be 100 years old. None of us will be there, but those buildings will be there. And I'm sure the management of that school will keep that history. And they'll be telling the kids there to say, you see these two buildings? They used to be general who came here and
We're just going with general now.
no, I love it. I love that we put together that team. And if I'm the general, then definitely there must be other people, other ranks there as an army. I find it very easy for people to put together an army, but I don't think it's that easy for one to find a general. Yeah, so an army, you can have an army of 1 million people, but for you to find one general among the millions, it's almost impossible. So if people think you're the general, you should be very happy.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, Patience, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so
And thank you
much.
for your honesty.
Great, thank you.
And thank you for your very clear ansers. That
You said you had
gave.
a lot of questions. That seemed like 4 or 5 to me.
Did it? Well, let's watch this episode back and see just how many there were.
Correct. No, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
I'm glad.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the chat we had with the General Patience Namadingo, because that's what I'm going to be calling you from now, just so you know.
Thank you.
So feel free to like, share, subscribe, and comment on this episode. See you next time.